A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose by Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose is much more than a book. It is an invitation to see life from a completely new perspective. It shows us that beyond the constant rush, the endless responsibilities, and the roles we play every day, there lies something far deeper, a new state of consciousness, capable of transforming not only the way we live, but also the future of humanity itself. Tolle explains that humanity is going through a major transition. For centuries, we have been dominated by the ego, that inner voice that never rests, always comparing, always demanding, always unsatisfied. The ego clings to past memories, projects itself into the future, and creates stories about who we are. But in truth, the ego is never fulfilled. It's like a bottomless pit, constantly hungry for approval, recognition, or power. And because of this, it becomes the root of much of our suffering. Think about a simple example. Someone buys a brand new car. For a few days, maybe weeks, they feel excited, proud, and accomplished. But soon the novelty wears off. The mind begins to crave something better, bigger, shinier. And that same cycle repeats itself. This doesn't happen only with material possessions. It also shows up in relationships, in the constant need for validation at work, or even in everyday conversations where people argue just to prove they are right. All of these patterns are expressions of the ego's hunger. What Tolle wants us to realize is that this is not a personal failure. It's a collective pattern of human consciousness. The problem is not having an ego. It's being completely identified with it. Awakening begins when we notice that we are not our thoughts, not our roles, not our emotions. We are the awareness that observes them. That subtle shift from identification to observation is the very first step toward freedom. Another important aspect he explores is our obsession with form. Many of us believe we are what we own, the career we pursue, or the image we present on social media. But forms are temporary. They change, they decay, they disappear. And when we attach our sense of self entirely to those forms, life inevitably brings pain. Imagine losing a job, going through a breakup, or simply watching the body age with time. If we think that's all we are, then we feel shattered. But when we connect to the deeper essence of being, the consciousness behind it all, we discover a self that is unshakable, timeless, and free. This is where the power of presence comes in. Presence means being fully here, fully awake to the now. Almost all human suffering comes from being trapped in the past, reliving regrets, replaying old wounds, or projecting into the future, anxiously worrying about what might happen. Rarely are we truly here. Picture someone having breakfast. Instead of enjoying the taste of the food, the smell of the coffee, the warmth of sunlight, their mind is already racing through emails, meetings, and yesterday's arguments. Their body is in the present moment, but their mind is somewhere else. Tolle reminds us that the antidote is simple yet profound. Return to the now. Even the smallest acts become sacred when we are fully present for them. One of the most fascinating concepts in the book is what he calls the pain body. The pain body is like an emotional entity that lives within us, a collection of old hurts, traumas, and repressed feelings. It can be dormant for a while, but in certain situations, it suddenly awakens and takes control. That's why sometimes we overreact to minor triggers. A casual comment might ignite an explosion of anger or sadness because it touched an old wound. The pain body feeds on negativity, on drama, on conflict. But the moment we bring awareness to it, the very moment we recognize, this is not who I am, this is my pain body being activated, we weaken its grip. Awareness is the light that dissolves the darkness. This awareness also transforms relationships. So many relationships are unconsciously built on ego, the desire to control, the fear of losing, the need to be right. These dynamics inevitably create dependency, jealousy, and conflict. But when two people come together with presence, something entirely different unfolds. Instead of trying to use the other to fill an inner void, the relationship becomes a mirror, a sacred space for growth and deeper connection. The more present we are, the less we need to impose our ego, and the more love and authenticity naturally flow. And it is in this space of presence that compassion is born. Real compassion does not come from obligation or from trying to be good. It arises naturally when the ego dissolves. We begin to see others not just as personalities with flaws and defenses, but as human beings going through the same struggles we face. We see their essence, and in that recognition, empathy arises. Tolle reminds us that this awakening is not only about the individual. The collective state of humanity, with its wars, environmental destruction, and social crises, is a reflection of the ego-driven mind. The only way a new earth can emerge is if individuals begin to awaken one by one. Every person who breaks free from the ego contributes to a shift in the collective field of consciousness. Now, this might sound abstract, but Tolle offers very practical steps. Start by simply noticing your breath. Each inhalation and exhalation anchors you in the now. Observe your thoughts as if you were watching clouds pass across the sky, without judgment, without resistance. Notice the moments when your pain body is triggered, and instead of reacting automatically, pause and shine awareness on it. These small practices may seem simple, but they have the power to completely reshape your inner life. What's beautiful about this teaching is that it doesn't require you to leave your responsibilities or isolate yourself from the world. You don't have to quit your job, abandon your family, or become a monk. Presence can be practiced in the middle of daily life, while walking, talking, listening, or even washing the dishes. In fact, the ordinary becomes extraordinary when infused with awareness. The heart of Tolle's message is that what we are seeking outside, peace, fulfillment, freedom, is already within us. It is our natural state, waiting to be uncovered. When we rest in presence, we discover a joy that doesn't depend on circumstances, a peace that cannot be shaken by success or failure. Imagine living from that place. Suddenly, small frustrations lose their power. Challenges become opportunities to grow rather than reasons to despair. And every moment, even the simplest ones, carries a sense of sacredness. This is the invitation of a new earth. To awaken, to see differently, and to live from a deeper dimension of who we are. And here's the most hopeful part. This awakening is not reserved for saints or spiritual teachers. It's available to everyone right here, right now. Each time we pause, breathe, and return to the present, we are already participating in the birth of a new earth. Because in the end, the new world that Tolle describes is not a faraway utopia. It is a shift in consciousness, beginning within each of us, spreading outward, and reshaping the way humanity lives on this planet. The more we awaken, the closer we come to building a future filled with compassion, harmony, and true freedom. If this message resonates with you, and if you want to keep diving deeper into self-discovery, healing, and conscious living, don't forget to subscribe to The Healing Vibe. Together, we can nurture this new awareness and create the space for a brighter, more awakened world.